Hi, Mike from the Fulcrum. Welcome back. Having a quiet cup of coffee back in the marshes. Found a new spot, little clearing among the reeds, right along the water's edge. The beavers have cleaned it out. You can see here was the path where he comes up. Great spot. Which brings the topic to mind. Maintaining one's peace of mind. Let me even experiment. Try this. Go one whole week cold turkey on media. Turn off the TV. Get off YouTube. Well, except for me, of course. And just turn out the news. Because you'll be in for a shock when you turn it back on. I think the sad thing is that a lot of people are actually terrified to be alone with their own thoughts. As long as you're diverted by other things. Drugs, alcohol, sex, rock and roll. Whatever's your cup of tea. Social media. You don't really have to ever sit down and clearly think things out. That's always for another day. Eventually you come to a point, well, there isn't any other days. Yeah, scary thought. They've done experiments with people in deprivation tanks, basically a big bathtub with warm water, body temperature. You float around in the dark. And a lot of people don't last any more than about 15 minutes. The lack of input of any kind drives them nuts. Some people, particularly the ones that meditate, report that they actually almost have like out-of-body experiences in such a situation because they've learned to control their monkey brain, let it go do its thing, and just concentrate on inner peace. So I guess Zen is where you find it. I just happen to find mine in places like this. I'm going to do my Qigong down here, part of my morning routine. I generally go to the park and do my workout, hop on my bike, ride about 2 miles down here to the marsh, pick out different spots, do my Qigong, have my coffee, sit and enjoy the scenery, and often talk to people who are also down here walking about during the day. Plan what I'm going to do with the day, then get to it. This week I have to get out the rototiller and start putting my garden in. And I might suggest to a lot of people, with the price of food going up all over the place, if you have any room at all, or even a balcony you can put some flower pots in, put something in you can grow. Even if it's just spices like basil or cherry tomatoes in a pot, anything. Gives you a sense of self-sufficiency. Maybe get you started into the greater things. Because when you turn it back on, you'll find that you get an overpowering sense that you're watching a propaganda channel. Just pounded 24/7, bad news everywhere, all the time. And you'll notice how that makes you feel. A sense of anxiety, danger. And the main purpose of that is to keep you from thinking clearly. I mean, if you're constantly being diverted by new stress all the time, you can't really plan things ahead. You can't concentrate because there's always something niggling, demanding your attention. You turn it off, and suddenly your world becomes very quiet. You pick books, you start reading more. You start actually researching things, picking up hobbies, interacting directly with people instead of just online. and getting out and about like this. Like right now I've got a big thermos of coffee. The weather's finally getting really quite nice here, almost 70 degrees Fahrenheit. It's about 18 degrees Celsius for those who are on that scale. Nature's out and about. The mud turtles are all doing their thing out on the logs. And the swan's just about to hatch the babies. There's a little island out in the middle of the marsh here that they nest on. So try that experiment if you dare. Ramp it down. Another thing you'll notice is you'll overhear people talking while you're out shopping, out at the cafe, walking about. Deep in discussion, terribly agitated about things happening 4,500 miles away, over which directly has no effect on them whatsoever, and there's nothing they can do about it, short of maybe making a financial donation of some sort. But other than that, these stresses just pile up one on top of the other in your daily life, keeping you from making the decisions you should make. Because the biggest change you can make is in your own community. For example, this area here was cited for development. And it has recently come to pass that it is now going to be designated wetland. The far end of it, near the highway, is going to be used for low-rise development, residential. But this area right down here, all the way down to the Bay of Quinte, is going to remain a protected wetland. But that wouldn't have come about if it wasn't for people within the community demanding this be an event that happened. Otherwise, developers would have come in here, probably drained the pond, loaded millions of tons of landfill, and put a subdivision in here, as has happened in other areas and wetlands in the area. And I'm sure people 4,500 miles away from here are not concerned about this at all. They're more concerned about their day-to-day ability to feed themselves and put a roof over their heads. Maybe if we spent more time concerned about our own towns, villages, and cities, and made it a better place here to live, then we would have the mental and financial wherewithal to help others. It's like being on an airplane, and they say that in the event of a crash, put your own oxygen mask on first, because you won't be able to help anyone else if you can't breathe. So as usual, think clearly, breathe deep, and enjoy your day. And if you enjoy our little videos, like and subscribe. Recommend to friends. This is Mike from the Fulcrum.